Hi guys, this is Aurea, and today I'm gonna be walking you through what was going on in my head when I found this cute little Buddha fountain in my garage. And I thought to myself, this would make a perfect mini hydroponic system. And honestly, it only took me about 15 minutes to get the whole thing set up from start to finish. First thing I did was I made sure that bottom reservoir was all clean. There was some dried up gunk from when it was still a fountain. And then I went into my propagation box where I have this little cutting of a fish pepper that I got from Kristen of Capsaicin Cult, and I have it rooting in perlite. You can see on the bottom that the roots are already poking out, so I know it's ready. And here you see me just pulling out the little plant from the perlite container that I had it in. It's been there for about 3 weeks since Kristen initially made the cut from her mother plant. And you can see how well it rooted in that perlite. Of course, a little yellowing on the leaves is to be expected because it's going to adjust to the new substrate that you put it in. So the next step is removing all the perlite from the roots. They're very easy to remove. I'm using a little rake here. You can also use your hands, but what you want to keep in mind is that these are newly formed roots, so you want to be very gentle, and the less damage you do to these roots, the better it's going to adapt to the new environment that we're going to put it in. So I'm also using this little device that just blows air into the roots. Just to get rid of the finer perlite particles that I have in there. I will be pushing this root system through a very tiny hole, so the less perlite is in there, the better it is, and the easier it is for me to push this through that tiny little opening. And with that being said, I had to be a little bit creative when it came to coming up with ideas on how to get the plant through that small opening. So what I came up with is this zip tie that I pushed through and making sure a little bit of it is showing that I can pull once I was ready. And you can see me now just twirling the root system so it was all in one clump to make it a little bit easier for me to thread it through the little loop. And just remember that you don't really need to push the whole root system through that loop. You just need a tiny bit of it so that the loop can grab onto it as you pull from the bottom. And here's the part where we hold our breath as we very carefully, gently, and ever so slowly pull the little tab on the bottom until we can see all the root systems pop out. And of course, that method is by no means perfect. I still heard a lot of the roots snapping as I pulled it through the bottom, but for the most part, the roots remain intact, most of it at least. And now it's just a matter of adjusting your plant and making sure that you're happy with the placement. So now all that's left for me to do is figuring out what kind of substrate I was going to put the plant in. Originally, I was going to put some soil in the reservoir, and then I thought to myself, maybe I should put it in perlite because that's what I've been growing it in. And then I remembered that I have some of these clay pebbles, also known as leca, and I've always been intrigued by hydroponic systems. So I decided to do a little experiment and see how the plant will grow in a hydroponic setup. And now I'm just going to level out the top layer of this leca just so that the lid would rest on it nicely and evenly. Now I admit that there's still a lot that I need to learn about hydroponic solutions, testing pH and all that stuff. But for now, I'm using the Aero Garden hydroponic solution that came with the system, so I'm cheating a little bit. But here it is, our hydroponic fish pepper Bonchi in a repurposed water fountain. It's going to spend some time under the Spider Farmer SF600 grow light, and I will be sure to post some update videos of this Bonchi. Thanks for watching. Bye!